Welcome to Collectors of the Coast. I am Cash. Today I wanted to talk about, we're going to actually do a little bit of a new series about whether it is worth buying the new secret lair. So there are 3 secret lairs, or 4 secret lairs if you count the land one, which I don't count that as a thing, out right now, or coming out in the next couple weeks. And I've been trying to run math on some of them and figure it out, and I thought I'd share that with you guys at home. So the first one I'm going to do is the Extra Life one. I got a couple of the ones from, what was that, the Blackest, no, not Blackest Magic, the one, I think it was, I got a couple of ones with the Consecrated Sphinx in it anyways, and really liked that one. Wish I would have bought it at the time. A couple of these kind of special ones have been really good. The Woman's Day one, the Blackest Magic one. There's been a couple of these supplemental ones that have been really good. Trying to figure out, generally speaking, these are a little better than the average layer, but sometimes the shipping is a little bit different. So we'll see what they do with this one. So how this one will work, or how this one works, you get, if you haven't bought layers before, maybe you're new to Magic, you get essentially 3 cards, but you get 2 copies of them. Ideally, if they're cards that can go in a lot of decks, in this case there's a couple that maybe not, and the one that can go in basically any deck that you use green, one of the best cards in Magic's history. So I want to kind of go through a price breakdown of how they work out, and you guys can make the decision at home whether this is an A, B, C, D, E. We're going to do this for a lot of the new ones coming up right now. I don't know, we'll see. I may continue if the video does really well and you guys seem to really like it. I'll try to do more in the future. So the first card I wanted to go through, we're going to go kind of a little bit backwards on these. We're going to go through Lathliss, the Dragon Queen. This card hasn't had a lot of reprintings, but it's not a big dollar card. It's about $8.50. We are using, I'm using actually Echo Magic. I just find this an easy site to manipulate, to work around. So I use that site from the US. So it's American prices. If you're Canadian, price will be a little bit less, maybe 25% less than these prices, so, or more than these prices because our dollar's higher. So anyway, Lathliss, right now the cheapest version I can find is it was like $8.50 for the foil, and it doesn't, like I said, only exists in a couple of different copies. So this is a very different copy. I would expect that this card cannot handle a ton of inventory on it, and the price will probably take a bit of a plummet. So I'm going to say that $8.50. You're talking $5 or $6 for it. Let's go on the low just to kind of give us. It's better on the low. Because if you want to get rid of your cards or sell them or whatever, then it's a lot better to be on the low number. The high, hey, that's just greedy. So Lathliss right now, you get 2 of them. You get one that is like a 4-year-old drew. Maybe good for a 4-year-old, but the drawing sucks. I can do better, and I'm a terrible artist. So yeah, you get 2 copies and one that's an artist one, which is kind of a goofy. It's kind of fun. I'll give you that. So you're talking about $10 for that, so that's kind of our starting price point. I'm going to say $10 for Lathliss if you want to sell the 2 off after the fact. I know one of the cards last year was worth like $2 or something like that at one point. One of the sites was blowing them out. I think it's still not very high, maybe $2-3. So the next card, kind of doing this intentionally in a certain order. So Sliver Legion. So Sliver Legion has had exactly. Well, it's had, I guess, technically 2 reprints since the original Future Sight version. Okay, if you want to get a foil Future Sight version, you're talking about $250 because foils were rare back then. If you go to Time Spell Remastered, about $200 Canadian American. I'm on a couple of different sites. If you are trying to get the Time Spell Remastered, you're in about $28.50 for a foil version right now in that art. And then there is a Judge gift card of it, which I don't even know how much they are because they're sold out on the 2 sites that I'm on. So Sliver Legion in the foil, $28.50. Got to assume after kind of a mass reprint like this, and this thing will sell pretty well, that these cards prices will go a little softer. I don't think either version art is as good as the previous version of the art, so I don't know. I think at most these are going to be the same, likely a little bit less, but I don't think the price is super sensitive on it. So I would expect, especially out of the gate, I would expect you'd be able to sell these things for $25 each. A lot of people I know get them and then sell maybe the second one for a little bit cheaper. So even if you sold it for $20, you're probably not doing too bad. But let's say they're $25 each. Let's go on the low. So let's go like $20 each. So you can sell them off for about $20 each. So right now we're at 10 plus 20 plus 40, 2 times that. So we are back to our $50 that you have to pay for these things because they are going for $49.99. In Canada and the US, usually you get free shipping. You buy 2, I guess you got it. Yeah, if you buy 2 of them, I think you get free shipping. In Canada, we have to pay shipping. So we will pay probably, let's say, $5 per secret lair. So our price basis is about $55 for one. The US, you're talking about 50. So you're probably breaking even just on those 2 cards. So pretty good stuff, right? Sliver Legion, easy card that I do think is price sensitive. So I will say that I would not be surprised that this card went down to $15. It could. I don't know if it will. It could. Okay. Third card in this is Birds of Paradise. Birds of Paradise, one of the core Magic cards from the beginning of the game. If you want an alpha one, it's like thousands of dollars. I'm going to bring up a Canadian one. I get Canadian pricing for an alpha one. Just for giggles. So if I'm on the Canadian price for an alpha Birds of Paradise, where are you? Oh, there's unlimited. $600 on here. If you go into some of the other versions. Anyway, there's lots of versions of this thing out there. Beta, $5,000. Alpha, sold out at $9,000. So it's something like that. I'm not on the big site for it or anything like that. So anyways, the Birds of Paradise has been done before in a layer drop. The foil version, as far as I can tell, is about $17 American, in and around there. And I expect this one won't be really all that different. It's not a card that is very sensitive to price. Because it is played, there's so much stock of it out there. Don't be surprised if it goes down a little. But you're still probably talking $15 a piece, even on the low. Maybe the lesser art one's a little less. Maybe the one with the actually nicer drawing is a little bit more. But let's say $15 a piece. So you're talking about 30. You're going to get about $80 for your 50. Let's say $55 in case you're paying the shipping in the US. So I see this as a win. It's a pretty good layer. I will say with this, the reason I want to talk about the Birds of Paradise a little bit, there's lots of versions of Birds of Paradise. And ultimately, with a card like this where there's so many versions of it, you get to decide what version of this card you play with. And I'm not sure if you run the gamut of these things out there. If you look at the different ones. And this is a nice pastel art, and it is very different. But to me, this doesn't stand out as a nice art. It's just okay. And I like some of the other classic Birds of Paradise more. So, I mean, my thought would be to probably play the other ones more than this. I don't know what you guys think at home. Everyone likes them different. I'm sure off the beginning people would be excited to play it, but I kind of like those other ones better. So I think that's going to have some effect on the card itself and the version and how much it's worth. How much exactly, I don't know. It's kind of hard to know. It's not a full art. I expect a full reprint of this card next year in a Masters set. I was really surprised it wasn't in Double Masters 2022. Obviously, it's because they decided to do this. Maybe they didn't put it in it, and they also have the 30th anniversary. There's a bunch of them coming out, but maybe they'll wait another year because they've done a couple versions. But honestly, there's some reprint value in it. I wouldn't be surprised to see it next year in some kind of full art. It seems kind of weird that this card is one of the real classic cards that hasn't seen a full art that there is money in. So that said, buy with knowing that ahead of time, because there will be one coming out, and there's no doubt that one that's coming out for the Magic 30 in the boxes this year is going to be, or as the promos or whatever, is a nicer version. So anyways, I got about $80 in this box at least. Definitely a sell, or definitely a buy. I would call this probably like a B+, something like that. Like it's a good one. But there has been better ones, and there probably is better ones right now when I go through the math. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it informative, let me know. Let me know what you think, if this is a buy or if you think this one is trash. So, all right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and have a magical day.